Well, I got to fly again today, so here we are at 4:15 in the morning. I got my meditation in already today, and we're prepping for that great prepping for that dark retreat we got coming up, and I'm here to offer a little Tao for your day. If you're interested in jumping up and picking a number between 1 and 81, I would love to share the Tao with you. The Tao is an ancient text written about 600 BC. This is around the same time a lot of scholars believe that the Bible was written, the Old Testament, not the New Testament. Here we got Creed is going to come and join me. I love sharing with Creed. We've shared a couple times. Creed, how you doing, man?
Hey, good morning.
Good
Can you
morning.
hear me? Can you hear me
Oh
clean?
yeah, I got you.
Okay, good, good, good. Um, Man, I was hoping to catch you. Like coincidentally, I called you this morning. I've been getting up, or maybe for some reason, just popping right about 2:30. I'm popping right up, like wide awoke for some reason. Then going back in, maybe not. But anyway, I'm so interested in the Tao, the TAO, the Tao
The Tao.
that
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that whenever I get opportunity, um,
yeah.
whenever it is not opportunity, but whenever you know, I come your way, trust me, I'm all ears, man. I thank
Mhm. Well, I'm just here reading some stuff and thinking about things.
you. Yes, yes, me too.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about how somehow can I spread the message. You know, every day it's just been like it's been really, really, really on my mind, heavy to spread the message, man.
Yeah.
Like to open up the third eye, they call it, some people, to
Hmm.
find a love chamber, to identify him or the entity, I guess, the way it's supposed to be, and to use it, and just the way. Just I'm just wanting everybody to share what I feel right now.
Beautiful. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's great. Now, as we do the Tao, like what number is coming to you to help you kind of understand that?
The numbers that's been following me all my life that I've never told anybody is the number six, man. It's
The
been
number
following me in my birthday, in every address, in every event, in just everything. When I start, the number six constantly follows me.
Yeah. Well, number 6 in the Tao states the Tao, pardon me, the Tao is called the Great Mother. Empty, yet inexhaustible, it gives birth to infinite worlds. It is always present within you. You can use it any way you want. And
I
that's
don't,
it.
I
Yeah.
mean, wait, slow down. What you just said, was it just something you were just stating to me, or was it just something that was, just what the number six I told you? Is that like a meaning behind six? Is that what
Well,
you just
that's that is the sixth chapter of the Tao.
And the
Of the
Tao is
Tao
a
Te
book?
Ching. Yeah, the Tao Te Ching is a book written 600 BC. It's around the same time that scholars believe that the Old Testament was written, and
Okay.
it and
What region?
what's that?
What region?
Chinese.
Okay. Yeah,
It's a
okay.
Chinese. It's an ancient Chinese text. It is the premise of the Taoist religion, but this is a philosophical text that was written by Lao Tzu when he left the province he was living in because they became too dependent on others, and so he wrote this. And we've talked about Tao is God, but Tao is the big God. Tao is the biggest. Tao, here we talk about the Tao is called the Great Mother because the Tao is the void, the inexhaustible. You know,
Now, is the Tao? Is it It's a religion. Okay, what you just
mm,
quoted from
I
me is a
yeah,
philosophy
I
based
don't.
on the idea
I
of the Tao.
mm, I always want to I do not look at or read or talk about Taoism as a religion. I talk about it as a philosophy,
Okay.
as a concept of living a reasonable life.
Well, that's what the Christian. That's what the other thing is too, right?
That's the Tao. That's how I understand the
Well,
Tao.
I mean, that's what all religion. Well, not religion, but
Right.
all ways of. See, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to just simplify things, not to put any type of cut on it. But I just want to get
Right.
a clarity from you. Trust me, whatever I ask about, I'm holding it at the highest regards I can. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I do shy away from utilizing the word religion, even though I don't like words getting in the way of a good conversation. I
I
do
do too.
like to, yeah, religion, the word religion can have a lot of connotations.
Well, it's simply, I mean, I simplify things. It means rechain. It's chaining you back. The re is Latin for go back, and the religion is, I mean, Latin. So it's basically religion
Hmm.
means to go back and chain you to one way of thinking. That's what
Right.
we're.
Right. And I agree with that. You know, even at the core of my work is recover yourself, right? This concept of recovering to something. So recovering to the oneness. Yeah.
I love that, man. Listen, we on the recovery side, bro.
Yeah.
100% with you, and
Hmm.
just having lived experience myself with different things. It's
Hmm.
like just to hear your passion, the way you just articulate it, and just it's you are the book. But go
Oh
ahead.
yeah. No. And so number six, you know, it states this: the Tao is the great mother. You know, there's something interesting about the feminine, the you know the big feminine, right? And not women, although women have the ability to receive and to yield. The great mother is this void. You know, I like to break masculine and feminine up into two different kind of things of just like structure and substance, where masculine is structure, feminine is substance.
And then
You
the
know,
way I
like,
understand, and then
please.
the way I understand what you're saying, I break it down in emotional and physical. So I look at it like almost the same way. It's just when you say the mother, as far as the big void, I look at it like you're right because the majority of our thought pattern is emotional because the motherly, just the nurture we have naturally on earth. So yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I believe it's a
Yeah.
voice of, I believe it's being biased against because
Yeah.
of different type of reasons to weed out strength. Go ahead.
You know, it's beautiful when we look at it because, like, you know, as we talk about the Tao, we look at this concept of like the house, you know, the walls and the house and the roof and all that. That's masculine, but the
Yeah.
space inside, the space is what you utilize. It's the
Well, that's what comes from
concept
ideal.
indoor,
That's where
right?
ideal comes from. That's what I mean. Actual birthing something, actual just something coming into being comes from the creative side, which comes from the emotional side, will come from the maternal side,
Right, right.
the creative side. So, which is the Tao, as far as what I'm hearing from you.
Right, yes. You know, like we have here, the Tao is called the Great Mother. Empty yet inexhaustible. It has nothing, and yet it can give birth to infinite worlds. You
Just
know, like
creation.
when you,
You just explained creation.
yeah, absolutely. When you have a home, the walls and everything are there, but what you do inside of that home is family. What you do inside of that house, right? The house is that masculine, but you can do anything inside of your home in the space. In the space, I mean, you can have dog fights, or you can have a beautiful, loving family, and you can do whatever you want, you know. And that brings us to this last part, which says, "It is present within you. You can use it any way you want."
Wow. And that was crazy because that's what I do lately. Two things. Yesterday, I realized that I've been jumping from the emo side to the fizz side just at will. Like at first, I was like feeling like I had to stay stuck on one or the other, and then I noticed how my just how with my output, I didn't think I had control of it. I was like struggling. But then recently, without even realizing it, I'm being able to hop more easily, and
Hmm.
it's beautiful. It feels good. But that's something different though. But yeah, when you said choose as I will, I've been really sitting here trying to figure out with a lot of confidence what contribution I want to do next. Like, and it's not normally I would feel like I didn't have a choice. I would just follow a certain um, path there. I didn't have a choice, but now, which was good. But now, it's seeming like I'm having more choices, free will to do good, if that makes sense. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
more
yeah.
of a free will to pick what massive way I want to present love to the world. You
Yesterday I
know,
did a talk about what we want and what we like. You know,
hmm
we this difference, and I'm coming out of recovery, and so that. But one of the big things is like so many times when we're addicted to things, we we don't like that we want our drug of choice.
I got a
You
question.
know, yeah.
We probably my talk. Recovery, and you coming out of recovery. Um, what happened to the wellness module? What happened? Well, I thought recovery was the old, what I'm saying, the pre-contemplation, the contemplation, all the different stages of recovery. But when they put up the new module with the wellness stage, um, I thought that after a certain while, I think they did 7 years, you can be a peer support specialist. I thought that after that, a person just maintain his wellness where you can have an exit route. That was a problem with the methadone clinics when they had to, when we made up the methadone clinic thing, we had them a front door, but we never gave them an exit strategy. It was like it was just creating other addicts, but never was giving them a good tear down way. What happened to the module where we just totally say, I recovered, I'm well. I'm not recovered, I am well.
Yeah,
The one,
like, yeah, I get that. I get that. The one, the because you know
that's that fear based module.
well,
I mean, how you
recovering from, so recovering from is a fear-based understanding, right? Like that is looking over your shoulder in fear,
I'm
right?
clear that there's a
Um,
monetary market for it, man. And a whole bunch of unnecessary counselors. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
yeah, no, and when I look at my definition of recovery, right, the concept of recovering to something is not about wellness because there is no standard of wellness, right? Like, so everybody is going to have their own experience of wellness. And so you are just constantly on a route of recovering to who you are, recovering to that oneness. And it isn't about getting over anything because
Mhm.
even in addiction, you are well. You do not like that you are in this state. And so you move to a new state of recovering from something until you have fresh water, a place to live, and you have a standard that you
Mhm.
can consider new concepts. Once that comes in, you can move into a recovering to place. And so that is when we recognize that we are recovering to the God within.
Okay. Okay. And see that with the way you articulated that, I understand 100%.
Mhm.
Okay. It's just that my hope is that more people can we can reach more people with what you just said, where they
Right.
can see a more open-ended way, so they can also feel more hope into going into some, something, just more hope, a
Yeah.
different type of hope. You know what I mean? Because you have that hope right there. Not only hope, it's whatever you want to call it. That love, I call it
Yeah.
love, and with that love right there, I just
Yeah,
woke up.
it's not like I j- I am always about empowering people to be where they are and to ask themselves, do you like this? Because I tell people, like, look, if you want to use crack to get over your sugar addiction, well, that's fine. But then you need to ask yourself, do I like this? Do I like that I'm doing this?
Hmm.
And if you don't, well, then you have to make a move. You have to change. Because I know, for me, it took me, I didn't like smoking for years before I finally quit. I didn't like drinking. I didn't like using for a long period of time before I
Well,
actually
can
quit because I didn't ask the question, do I like it?
I ask you something?
Yeah.
When you quit, you said did you want to and didn't for years. Is it because in your subconscious it just wasn't familiar with you to quit? Like you just
Oh
didn't,
no, I hated myself.
it
So
hadn't
I
switched
didn't I
off.
didn't I didn't feel as if I had the value within my life
I
to
understand.
do anything worthwhile.
And you know what? That's so crazy because I myself had a sense of unworthiness for a long time, and that's
I do have two people on the line. Creed, if you want to come up and land that plane, I'll give that to you. Um, but I'm only going to give you a couple seconds to come back up. All right, cool. Um, and then you can land this plane, and then I'm going to move on to Mary Kay and then Lois, if you guys can hang out just a minute. Hey, man.
uh, the only plan. I just want to say love conquers all, man. You have a great
That's
day,
right.
my brother.
That's right. And the thing is when you don't love yourself, you're not moving towards your recovery. And it's not recovering
Exactly.
from, it's recovering to who you are. And once you find that value in you, everything is everything is going to lay itself out. That doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but it's going to start moving. Thank you so much for joining me, man.
Thank you too, sir. Have a good morning.
Mary, Mary, how you doing, lady? Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Martin.
Good morning. Oh, you are up bright and early today.
Yeah,
Dark and early, really.
yeah, dark. It's still dark, but it's
Still dark.
nice. Yeah,
Where are you in the world?
New Jersey.
New Jersey. I did know that. I knew that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Still dark.
not far
Still.
from you. I'm gonna come
Yeah.
and visit you in the summer.
Well, yeah. I,
If
I
you
can't
are,
put you up, love.
but no, no, I'm not staying with you, please.
Okay, good.
No,
Then I'll
no,
stay with you.
absolutely not. I don't do those kind of things. Then we would probably end up arguing, and who knows what could happen. And I won't jeopardize our friendship.
No, no, no. We'll spend plenty of time together. You come to
Yes.
Chicago, and I am
Oh,
your
you're in
I am your guide.
Chicago.
I am.
Oh, I thought you were in Maryland.
No, I visit Virginia on the odd occasion. I don't know that I've ever been to Maryland.
I don't know why I thought you were like right here.
Yeah, you said near, and I was like, well, I guess Chicago's relatively near.
Then I would have to fly to O'Hara Airport to the
Yeah, or
Windy
Midway.
City.
I'd prefer to pick you up at Midway.
I used to go to Chicago a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's nice.
it's a beautiful city. Born
But
and raised here.
I've never been there in the summer.
Oh God, you got to come here in the summer.
I'm
But
sure.
like September. September is when you want to
Yeah,
be here.
September. And
Man.
where is that place with the horses? Statue of the horses?
We have a couple statues of horses. There is Grant Park downtown. We have two horses on either side of the street.
There is like not a parliament, but like a government building, if I'm correct.
With two statues of horses. No, I don't.
Or
Oh,
maybe.
they got, well, there's the two lions in front of the Art Institute. There
I think I've been
is,
there and I saw the horses.
okay. Well,
If
there
I'm
are horses in Grant Park here
so
downtown.
maybe I was in Grand Park.
Yeah, Grant Park's a beautiful place. They got Millennium, they got, not Millennium, they got the Buckingham Fountain is there.
Oh, maybe that's where I was.
It's beautiful right off the lakefront.
Yes,
Our lakefront is gorgeous. We have,
yes.
like, not for nothing, but we have an amazing lakefront because we have rules that say you can't build on it. So it's public property. There's a running, there's I think 12 miles of running, like path
Wow.
and bicycle path, like all along the lakefront. So you can just like go from the north side of the city to the south side of the city,
Because
and
I used to go there like
beautiful.
for 3 days on business, and at night, me and my colleague would walk around.
Yeah. walking around. Like, I remember being younger and going into downtown and just walking around when it was a dead downtown. We have a pretty active downtown now. We got restaurants and other things like that,
Is
so it's
that Rush
open.
Street? Is it
Rush
downtown?
Street, Rush Street is a little north of downtown. The way I look at it, it's
Okay.
probably all considered downtown to people that don't live here, but there are ways of separating it in my mind because we're a city of neighborhoods. Rush Street was, I remember going to this underground Wonder Bar, and like there was this like this was back in the day, and there were like it was a jazz club, but there would like people would be turning tricks at tables in that.
You're kidding.
Like, yeah,
Uh,
no, like that was
but
how
I remember,
that was how Rush Street was back in the day.
is Al Capone from Chicago?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Chicago's a
Yeah,
big component.
because I took a tour of like underground,
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
that's where Al
Yeah,
Capone.
you were probably up at the Green Mill up on the north side. Yeah,
That was so many years ago. I don't remember,
yeah,
but I remember
yeah.
the
He had
place.
he had, and you can take a tour of his like between three different buildings. He has
Yes,
like tunnels and stuff. Yeah.
yes, I did it. I went inside the tunnels and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
beautiful. Like, and
yeah,
that's,
it
and you
really
can go
was.
across the street and down the block. Like, he had ways of getting out of that building, man.
What a guy. Well,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do?
Well,
It was based on business. What can you
yeah, what are you gonna do?
do?
All right, you got a number for me this morning.
21.
21. It's nice to have you on.
Thank
Let's
you.
see what we have here. The master keeps her mind always at one with the Tao. That is what gives her radiance. The Tao is ungraspable. How can her mind grasp? How can her mind be at one with it? Because she doesn't cling to ideas. The Tao is dark and unfathomable. How can it make her radiant? Because she allows it to. Since before time and space were, the Tao is. It is beyond is and is not. How do I know this is true? I look inside myself and see.
Wow.
So as we look at this, it's a really, it starts with this big statement
Mm-hmm.
of the master keeps her mind always at one with the Tao. That is what gives her her radiance. And so, making these two statements, right, to keep your mind at one with the Tao, and that is what gives her her radiance. You know, the Tao being inexhaustible, as we read in number 6 just a couple
Mm-hmm.
moments
I
ago
was
with
listening.
Creed. Yeah, like we have this idea that like it will always be able to feed you, nourish you. So here we are. The master keeps her mind always at one with the Tao, and it gives her her radiance. We move on to the next lines, and it expresses like, wait a minute. The Tao, as we know, is ungraspable. How can her mind be at one with it?
Yeah.
And
How could that be?
right, and so the next line is because she doesn't cling to ideas. Now, you can't keep your mind at one with the Tao in a direct sense because the Tao is the void. So it's just emptiness. You can't just think about emptiness. But so that's why this this statement is here. The Tao is ungraspable. You can't grasp the void
No.
because that in and of itself is an impossibility. So how can her mind be at one with it? Because she doesn't cling to ideas. So the concept here is as long as you're not having expectations and ideas about what the world is and what your response should be, you're able to be at one with the Tao. Now, that doesn't mean you don't have ideas, but you don't cling to them. So you don't say, oh, like, I want money. Well, money is an idea. And so, as long as you don't cling to wanting it or having to have it or having to have a partner or having to go somewhere, having to be somewhere else, so much of our world wants to be somewhere other than they are right now. And the master, by not clinging to ideas, is able to be at one with the Tao. And so what we're saying here, which is really nice, is that it's not that you want to be at one with a thing. You want to recognize when You want to recognize that you're not clinging to things. So it's not the thing. It is the clinging.
Clinging.
Yeah, and what a great way of like really expressing um how to be at one with something that's ungraspable. It's like any identity that you have, anything that you like, anything that you don't like, isn't something to be liked or not liked. It is something that you can utilize to attempt to not cling to it. So if you believe in, we look out at the world today and we see so many people struggling with gender identity and other things,
Mm-hmm.
and when someone clings to an idea, they're stepping away from the Tao. They're
From
stepping away from
themselves,
themselves, the
true
possibility
self.
that they can be. And this is funny because like this is my exact like I send out an email every Tuesday, and this is the topic of my email. I don't address the Tao, but I address this idea of identity, and I address this idea of clinging to ideas.
That's a beautiful Tao,
Yeah.
and we should not cling to our ideas or possessions. It's nice to have it,
Yeah.
but we don't really own anything.
That's right. They can go away at any
Yeah,
moment, like
and it has.
Yeah.
It has
Yeah.
happened to
Yeah.
thousands. I mean, the world.
The world, everybody
Yeah.
has lost.
Yes.
And then we move on to this idea that the second point of that first section, which is that's what gives her her radiance. The Tao is dark and unfathomable. How can it make her radiant? Because she lets it. And this is such a beautiful, another beautiful way. And there's nothing not beautiful about the Tao, but this is a
It
beautiful way,
really, I'm really getting into it.
a really great way
Yes.
of looking at how, like, I'm going to be doing this dark retreat at the end of next month, and darkness. And, once again, we go into the unfathomable. Like, how can it make her radiant? Because she lets it. Just being lost in this darkness can be the thing that gives you all of the energy and love and light you need. I have found as I get older, I can stay young by staying unclinged or unattached. Being unattached, whether that's to people, relationship, or not that doesn't mean I don't love deeply. I do, but I can love deeply and stay unattached.
Yes.
This past week, and on Saturdays, I usually go out to a friend's house and we play cribbage, and we are goofy, and we cook dinner
Hmm.
together and everything. And this past week we were listening to Carly Simon. She
Oh, I love her. Oh my God.
love her. And there's that song, I know nothing stays the
The
same,
same
but if you're willing to play the game,
game
it'll be coming around again.
again.
And it's all about believing in love. And it's
And I
like,
believe
this
in
is
love.
such, yeah, like, I know that nothing stays the same, but if you and it's making me emotional right now thinking about it. This is like how you can allow something that's unfathomable to make you radiant because you don't cling and you're not holding on to those ideas, right? Like the idea that this love needs to be here. No. And
No,
like Carly says, it's like, look, nothing stays the same. If you're willing to continue to live, it's going to come around again. And it's such a beautiful way. And it's like, and that's going to go away too. And it's like this impermanence is like at the core here. And it's a really beautiful, touching song about a family that's kind of falling apart, and um and that comes to mind here as I'm reading this, because how can the Tao, like we say about God all the time, how can we how would he allow this to happen? And we look at, well, why would the Tao allow this horrible pain to exist? And we say, well, it's dark and unfathomable.
hmm,
And so, but in order to be radiant, you let it be radiant. And that's kind of what I see like Carly Simon saying here. Like, look, it's going to change. You're not going to like it, but it's not going to be easy, but you're going to grow through it, and it's going to come around again. And this idea of radiance through that repetition of just like, these are cycles that we live, and it's not permanent.
And life is a cycle, and
That's right.
nothing is. As a young girl, I used to think everything was permanent, and
Right,
I would
right.
go for permanence, and
And
I thought that this was it. But really, as I got older, everything changes,
yeah. And
and we allow that change. We should allow that change.
yes, yes. And this last part says, since time and space were, the Tao is. The Tao always is. And whether there's time or space at all, that cycle of, yielding, that cycle of just yielding to the cycle, that cycle of yielding and giving and receiving,
Mm-hmm.
it is beyond is and is not. You can't even describe something as being if it's always been. How do I know this is true? I look inside myself and see. When we can be quiet with who we are, we can see the depth that we are capable of.
I agree.
Oh, Mary, I
I,
love you, dear.
I love you too.
It's so wonderful to start a week off chatting with you.
Yes. Have a
I really
great,
appreciate your
great
time.
week,
I will. You as
and
well, dear.
I'll let you go.
Okay. Oh, Lois, did you just drop off? Lois, girl. Oh, I just I guess Lois had number 21 as well. Maybe not. Here she is. Okay. She dropped off right as I was finishing up. Okay. Lois, how are you, my love? Uh-oh. The guest left. Okay. Well, we got through number 6 and number 21. Um, I don't know. Do I want to pick a number today? Do I want to pick a number today? Do I want to pick a number today? Hmm. Let's see. What a good. It's been good. It's been good. 6, 21. Those are good. Um. Let's see. I'm gonna do 68. 68. All right. I'm gonna take a note that I am doing number 68. And we might have to call that quits because I do have to catch a plane this morning. So let's see. The best athlete wants his opponent at his best. The best general enters the mind of his enemy. The best businessman serves the communal good. The best leader follows the will of the people. All of them embody the virtue of non competition. Not that they don't love to compete, but they do it with the spirit of play. In this, they are like children and in harmony with the Tao. Play is such an important aspect of our lives, and more and more mindfulness coaches are talking about play and things like that, and we really do want to embrace play. But let's kind of start going through this and start looking at what that means. The best athlete, that doesn't mean the athlete who is only winning. That is, the best athlete in a mental state wants his opponent at his best. You do not want to meet, if you look at Michael Jordan, best athlete, right? Not only in action, but in attitude. He wanted his opponents at their best. He wouldn't want his opponent injured, because if he was injured, he wouldn't be able to say, I challenged you on a fair plane. And that's the great thing. The best athlete wants his opponent at his best. You don't want them injured. You don't want to see them, you don't want to take advantage of a team. You want to win outright. And that there is no there is, and it's not even that you want to win. You want to engage outright in a way that is healthy and in a way that is open. All right, Lois is coming on. Let's see if maybe she was having app issues. We this is a young app. Lois, how you doing, dear?
To work this time? Yeah.
Yep, we're with you.
What are you doing up this early?
Girl, I'm gonna tell you, I wake up between 3 and 4 every day.
Oh, okay, that's right. You're on the East Coast. Or
No, no,
middle.
I'm on Central Time.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, but I get up early, and I actually got up this morning, did an hour meditation before I came on.
Oh, good for you. Good for you. So
Yeah,
you told me I was sleeping because I went to bed early last night because it was my
yeah.
own motorcycle ride yesterday.
Oh, good on you.
It was so much fun. But I was sleeping and I woke up and I was like, it's not time to get up yet. And then something said, open the app because I did I did the 15-minute meditation because I
Mm,
was like, I'm gonna get up. If I'm gonna get up, I might as well do it before I get up. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I was like, get on the app. I'm like, I don't get on the app at this time in the morning. Then it
Yeah.
said you were doing dial today. I'm like, huh?
The motherfuckers up here this early. No, yeah,
Yeah, basically.
I'm going out to Virginia this morning. I got an 8 o'clock flight, so
Oh,
I'm
okay.
gonna have to. I wanted to just kind of get this in, and then I'll travel back and all that. And but it's it's just like I this is my game, and I can play it whenever I want.
I know that's right. I know that's right. Okay, I think 27 was coming across, but sometimes like, some kind of way it crisscrossed when I got cut off the app, and then so I think I better go with 72.
72, beautiful. All right, that's funny. Okay. Oh, this is a nice one, and it's one that I haven't read very much. When they lose their sense of awe, people turn to religion. When they no longer trust themselves, people begin to depend upon authority. Therefore, the master steps back so that people won't be confused. He teaches without teaching so that people will have nothing to learn.
Love it. Oh my God. Let's start from the beginning. Let's
Yeah.
do that first line again. First
This
line.
is, this is like the Tao does this in a couple verses, 3 or 4 of them, where they talk about the the degradation of truth,
Uh-huh.
or the deterioration of truth. When and so this one starts when people lose their awe. When they lose their awe, people turn to religion. When they
Okay.
no longer trust themselves, they begin to depend upon authority. So let's
Okay.
start with that first one.
Let's start with
When
that.
Yeah, when they
Okay.
lose their sense of awe, people turn to religion.
And that's generally when people are being have been disillusioned and they don't know where to turn or they're in some type of detriment and people are saying, well, go to God, go to God, go to God. So then they'll go to a religion
Hmm.
looking for God. I'm gonna say it like that because
Oh, good on you.
okay, because there's a big difference between going to a religion and finding God.
Right.
Okay. And then the next line said,
Well, hold on. I want to stay on this first line 1 second more.
mhm.
When they lose their sense of awe, think about what that is. What is your sense of
That's
awe?
that childlike thing. When they, like I said, they get the disillusion that is the world is not what they thought it was. The mama ain't real. Daddy ain't real. You know what I'm saying? It's like they finally figure out. They get to see that what the world is, and sometimes depending on what your view is, could be a cold hard place. And when
That's
they
right.
feel to start feeling that shit, that's what I've said. They run to look for God to
Yeah.
help them make sense of this because they were a kid and everything was good. And I want to be big. I want to be big. You know that shit.
Hmm. It's interesting when I look at this kind of sense of awe.
Uh-huh.
It is also a sense of connection. Like like when you are in awe of the world, that
Uh-huh.
is like you are part of it, right? Like there is this understanding that this is part of me, and
Yeah.
I am here. Like losing that real inner trust of like the world is such an amazing place and I'm in it.
Well,
You know?
to me, that's viewing the world as a child. Like
Yes.
like
Absolutely.
today, when riding the yesterday. Look. I went to bed early, so I don't know what day it is. But the thing is that we were riding in uncharted territory, uncharted for us,
Yeah.
not uncharted that it wasn't paved.
Right.
Uncharted for us, driving further than we found out at the end of the ride that the three of us, and it was four of us on the ride, three of us had never driven that far,
Yeah.
and we were in such awe that of the wind and the speed it was just it was we were like little kids. It was like, oh
Yeah.
my god, y'all was because if we were in awe. Now we could have just been riding the motorcycle to go get to the place.
Right.
It wouldn't have been like that, but we had no fucking where to go. We just, you know what I'm saying? It's like
I do.
we were just free to drive wherever the hell we wanted to drive. And every time we stopped to go to the bathroom, we like, is this far enough? And of course,
Yeah.
then me, Louis, no, I want to go further. So finally we got to the edge of California. It was like, oh my god! And I was thinking, we were thinking as we were going driving. I was thinking, I'm like, oh, I've been this far. I've never been this far before. Oh, this is nice. Okay, this wind is kind of doing something, but boy, I can make it to California.
Yeah.
Wait, we almost in California. Wait. It would take like a couple more hours of drive. I think it's doable to get down to Anaheim.
Yeah.
And that was and then when after we had dinner, the other lady, she was like, I've never driven that before. And when we started heading to a state line, I was like, oh, we can go to California.
Yeah.
So it was like three of us saying, yeah. So, but all we just, we got to stop periodically because
Oh yeah.
that motorcycle make you got to pee. Okay. I ain't going to
Yeah.
sit there
I'm
and
telling
lie.
you. Yeah.
I
And
didn't know that. I'm thinking, okay, I must got to go to the doctor because this bladder thing.
no, no.
But no,
And
the
you
longer the
gotta,
ride.
like you got all that wind around you all the time. You're dehydrating all the time. Like
Yes.
it's constant. Like you gotta take care of yourself on that bike, girl.
Yeah,
But
well,
yeah, and then you know when they no longer trust themselves, they begin to depend upon authority. Just like with your motorcycle ride, like
mhm,
like if you guys didn't trust yourself, you'd be like, oh, we better turn around because we didn't do this before. But you went, you took that step forward. You weren't dependent upon the authority of the past. You weren't asking anybody, is it okay for me to go further? You just went because
mhm.
you were in a state of awe.
Yeah, so that's how I got that. That's what I said. That's why I said childlike. It's a childlike curiosity. When you lose
Yeah,
that, things become real. Like the first time you find out your mother is not God because she
that's right.
lied to you.
That's right.
That
Mm-hmm.
shit breaks your little bitty baby heart, and you
Yeah.
want and you run because you hear that God is going to do this. So you run it. Like I said, you run to religion. So
I read a book recently called something. It was called something. Definitely. It was Johann Hari's like lose focus or losing focus or something like that. It was all about like how we can focus more. And he talked about children and free play. When you and I were kids, we'd go out and we'd make up games with our friends and
yes,
we'd just play.
yes.
But now kids, when they're young children, they only have play dates, and they only have like all of the rules are made up by adults, and all of the like, and they don't have this ability to just play the way that like they don't, like, I even used to go to the corner store with money and
Mhm.
buy things for the family. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
as like a 7-year old. You know
Well,
what I
this is
mean?
fear, but you got to realize what we're living. We're living in this fear shit.
I
Okay,
know,
so
I know.
you
But
can't.
all of
And the
that
thing,
means
go
people are
ahead.
losing their sense of awe a whole lot
Yeah.
earlier. And they're no longer trusting themselves because their adults are always telling them what to do. And so children are growing up in this space of, having to depend upon authority and
Hmm.
with a sense of lost awe.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
And then we start talking about the master, which is, all of us can be this.
Hmm.
Therefore, the master steps back so that people won't be confused. He teaches without teaching so that people will have nothing to learn. And this is how I kind of address my nieces and nephews. I always say, I have nothing to teach you, but I'm always going to give you enough space to figure it out your damn self.
I know that's right. Okay.
Because if I constantly tell you, oh, be here, do this now, and I'm traveling with my niece today. It's it's they are always in this space of, I'm just going to bury myself in my phone and you'll tell me what to do. Well, you got your head buried in your phone. If I get up and get in line to get on the plane, like, it's up to you to recognize that that just happened. It's not up to me to pat you on the shoulder and say, hey, it's time to go. We're a
I know
team,
that's right.
you know?
I
And I'm
no.
like, get your ass up. If you get up and you notice I'm gone, well, better quicken up, girl. Like,
Okay, I know that's right.
because I don't want to teach her it's time to go. She has to recognize that being aware and being present is a thing that you want to do. And that way she'll learn from herself. Maybe she'll learn that I'm not trustworthy because I won't tell her where to go. And that's fine for her to learn. I don't want to dictate her curriculum for her life. She has to learn what she has to learn, but she's eventually going to realize that I believe in her.
Right. Yeah. That's good. So for me in that thing, it's like right now I've been teaching on this app and stuff like that, and I noticed that when I pop into a room, a whole lot of people come into the room and to listen, and I don't have no problem with any of that because I didn't know, but I didn't know that happened. I didn't call me
Right.
because I just get on here to teach, okay. But then when it was time for me to pull back, God pulled me back and said, "Okay, you gave them some nuggets. Now let them digest it." And
Yeah.
and now, although I'll come up and talk on people's talks, and I have talks to do. Yeah, I've been instructed to give another talk yet because I did say I don't want followers. Because somebody has said I'm a Lois disciple, and somebody else says, "Hey, guru, oh no 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 no, I don't want the no 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 no." I'm learning just like you're learning. To me, we're walking side by side, holding hands. Now, some of us got to pull that chain up a little bit, okay? And sometimes we get pulled back a little bit, but we still are holding hands. I'm not in front of you. You're not behind me. We're on this journey together. Now, I may be a little further along, but I'll let you catch up.
And
You know,
like, that's the great thing, that like, it's hard to talk about, because, like, as we talk about this idea of being unfathomable and other things
yeah,
like that, like the concepts, it's not that you're further along. You just know things they don't, just like
yeah.
they know things you don't. And
There,
it's not there,
man,
there is no linear aspect to this.
there is none. There's completely multi-dimensional. We
That's
holding
right.
hands. Now, if you
That's
see
right.
that, that kind of looks kind of like freaky. You imagine her holding hands on different levels, but we waving through this wave. Okay, go. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I have
and it's
imagination.
yeah, it's and visual is always so helpful. And like, here it's like he teaches without teaching, so that people will have nothing to learn. And that's the thing, like, they don't have anything to learn, but they
No.
can process what they heard. And there isn't a just like with my niece, I don't want to teach her something,
Well, I don't
right?
want to
As much
foster a dependence on me.
Right. And
That's
and you
that's
don't want to
just
tell
that
them
part.
what
I
they
don't want
what
to
they have to
foster
learn.
dependence. I want the
You're
people to
you're also not depending. You're also not saying this is what you have to learn. You learn what you learn.
No, that's
It's
right.
got nothing to do with me.
Thank you. This was my journey. I
That's right.
just teaching what I learned. No, just teaching and learn on the way. But like I said, it's about if there's anything to be taught, it's teaching you how to let go of enough stuff so that you can go inside yourself
That's right.
and
Because
and
you
find
are
and
the thing
find.
that we need.
There it is.
We don't need we
Not a
don't need you to
copy.
be looking at Lois and asking her what she would do, because what you would do is unique and special, and we need you to go and do that.
Right.
There is no right answer.
Like that.
There is
And
your answer.
everybody got that. Then that's my thing is to bring out the uniqueness of every person.
That's
Because
right.
everybody is a unique expression of this spirit of God.
That's right. And we
And I
need
like the
all of them.
differences.
All
Yes,
of
we
them.
do. Yes, we do.
And if we're missing one, then things are not in balance.
Okay.
Thank you, dear. Love you. Have a
Thank you.
wonderful day. If you get on that bike, keep it rubber side down. All right. Love you guys. What a great day today is. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up 68 as I was reading earlier, and I'm gonna check out so I can jump in the shower and get myself all situated for my flight today. So as I was saying, the best athlete wants his opponent at his best. You don't want to step up and have some advantage, because then you don't know your actual ability. Don't you want to know that? Like, even if you're the littlest person on the rugby field, right? Like, you want to know that your mind is present. The best general enters the mind of his enemy. He's not foolish, and he's not just thinking that, like, oh, I this is about what I want. No, you enter the mind of the enemy and you find out what they're thinking, so that you can, and because you might be able to, if you know what they're thinking, you might be able to win the war without ever picking up a rifle. If you know what they want, how many arguments have you gotten in because of a misunderstanding? Because you were too busy thinking about yourself, too busy thinking about the way you saw the argument. The best general enters the mind of his enemy. That's such a good way of looking at, like, if my enemy, if they just want something that I can easily capitulate to, or if they want something, then we cannot have dead people. We don't have to go to war. I mean, if Canada would do that, and if they would, get to having conversations, enter the mind of the enemy, both sides, then I'm sure they would find equilibrium. The best businessman serves the communal good. Once again, this doesn't necessarily mean the richest businessman. It means just the best, the ones that really serve the communal good. And we look at social media, we look at other things that are getting popular and increasingly popular in the world today, and we look at, and what we see is they're not actually giving us what we want; they're giving us what they want. They want to sell to advertisers, and so they want our attention, and that helps us not focus, and that actually puts the communal good and the individual good um, aside. The best leader follows the will of the people. The best leader follows the will of the people. It's real easy to be a leader and get people excited about what you want, but what about what they want? The will of the people is probably just like living in peace quietly. That's probably what they want. But many leaders try and tell you what they want for you, and then they try and sell you on some you know what's it called, a sale of goods that you don't even want. That happens all the time with leaders. I mean, if we look at, like people just want to live quiet lives, and if we can get people to if we can get that to people, then that is a great leader. All of them embody the virtue of non-competition, right? Like, not that they don't love to compete, but they do it in the spirit of play. I mentioned to Lois the idea of free play. You make rules, and you play with your friends, and it's not about who wins or loses. You're all going to play at the end of the day, you know, and you're going to play another game tomorrow. In this, they are like children and in harmony with the Tao. Free play in your life. That is such an important aspect to everything that we do. Are you trying to get more than someone else? What is it you're trying to do? You know? And what are you trying to accomplish? The best athlete wants his opponent at his best. The best general enters the mind of his enemy. The best businessman serves the communal good, and the best leader follows the will of the people. Where have you tried to cut corners of that? Where have you tried to be like, oh, my favorite team isn't as good as this team. I wish that that team was injured before they play each other. Entering the mind of your enemy. If you feel like you have an enemy at work or in your home, like, enter their mind. See what's causing them to want to even be your enemy. I always like to say to have an enemy is to be an enemy. So be careful. All right. Well, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this very early Tao of the day. I appreciate your being present for this, and I will be back tomorrow at a more reasonable hour. I think I will be back at a more reasonable hour. Um, I'm your host, Martin John. If you love what I do, hit me up on a DM on Instagram or check me out. I send out, like I said, emails every Tuesday, so join my email list if that's something that you're interested in, like the things that I'm talking about. I don't have any workshops, but if you contacted me and would like to take a workshop, I'm always open to putting a new date on the calendar for you and others to join. I am looking at not putting a date on until April, so if anybody wants to meet up with me for a workshop in March, I would be happy to put one on the calendar if there were people that were interested. So shoot me a DM, let me know what's up, and reach out to me anytime. I am always here, and I'll be doing an on recovery tomorrow as well. I didn't do it last week, which is fine, but I am also going to be starting a podcast of those interactions. So if you're interested in checking out on recovery, it'll be tomorrow at 1 p.m. and 1 p.m. Central Time. So it'll be 2 p.m. for me out on the East Coast. And yeah, once again, I'm Martin John, the recovery mentor. And until next time, keep recovering yourself.